joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. I'm Nikki Medoro. She is Kim McAllister.
What's
Jim
up?
Slayton has the tequila and a sparkling fruit drink on the rocks. I had to make my drink early. I do not have a husband or children in the house right now.
Oh, okay.
I have no fancy drink. I have no fancy bartender making me any drinks. Do you have anything special that you're drinking for cocktails and news, Kim McAllister?
Not at this time, but something is coming.
Okay.
My husband David called the Red Jack in San Francisco.
Red Jack Saloon, our favorite bar in San Francisco.
To get the recipe for the kamikaze.
Oh, there you go.
So he's like, if it's just a kamikaze, I can make that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's different. Maybe they've
different.
spiced it up to make it a kamikaze.
There you go.
He has called for the recipe. He got it. He talked to the bartender, and he's making the kamikaze from the Red Jack Saloon in San Francisco.
I love it. You guys have to go to the Red Jack Saloon. I mean, again, it is such a nice, fun bar to go to. Yeah. Again, you can get the kamikaze, the martini, and the Medoro Mule. So they're all delicious. You can get one of each.
You know what I mean?
And so,
the martini and then the fancy Medoro Mule. That's served in the copper cup.
Yeah, that's what I'm drinking right now. You can have it with vodka and that's like the Moscow, and then, or if you put bourbon in it, which I have right now, that's the Kentucky kind. And that's my favorite drink ever. And you put some club soda in it and it kind of tastes even better. So yeah, the kids are out with the husband.
Okay.
My birthday is this Saturday.
Happy almost birthday.
Thank you very much. Yeah. You know, it's so weird. The kids are like, what do you want? And there's a certain age.
We'll pre-celebrate with some party balloons.
Thank you for the party balloons. There's a certain age where you're just like, I don't know. You know what I want? You know what I really thought? You know what I want? I want the house to actually be clean. Does that make sense?
I want the house to be clean, and I want 4 hours of peace and quiet by myself.
I don't even care about that. I just want it to actually be clean. I don't want to pay for a cleaner because then I feel like I'm, I got to budget that, like the money thing. I just want the whole house to be clean, top to bottom, including the children's rooms. Yeah. And that seems like such a mom invisible load type of gift. But they're at the mall right now, probably buying me gifts. My husband's like, we're going to the mall. And I'm like, we're budgeting, like end of the month type thing. And he's like, I was like, what are you getting at the mall? Not even thinking about it, right? Not even thinking. And he's like, it's your birthday. You don't ask. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, okay. And then just in my mind, I'm like, okay, you got to budget your birthday, blah, 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 blah. I celebrated it last weekend in Santa Cruz. By the way, I didn't send the picture to you.
Did you see Julia marching down the street?
Okay, this is all I saw. Okay, it was from a distance. I don't think Julia was in this picture because we had to change our route. I am telling you, the grandstand was in the parking lot of where we were staying. We could not park there until after 5 o'clock because they had to take it all down. So we were riding our bikes. And so I was like, oh, there they are. And this was further away. This was by the boardwalk. Yeah. I think we're all setting up. I don't know if Julia was there, but I was like, oh.
I don't see her group. They're with bright purple jackets, and I don't see the purple in this picture.
Okay. Well, I was like, I don't know if it's there. So I just took a picture while we were riding our bikes over there. So, but I did see them all. So there you go. They were there riding their bicycles around. So
the Petaluma High School marching band came in 5th out of 12.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
That's the middle of the pack.
They grade you or they rate you on the whole band as a whole.
Okay.
And then they also rate the drum major, which my daughter is the drum major.
Okay.
And for her first competition as drum major, she did pretty well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So she was so nervous. She was making herself anxious and upset that she was going to screw up the whole band. She was freaking out. So in the end, she did really, really well.
Nice.
She was kind of relieved and proud of herself.
I love that.
She also performed with the drumline, and the drumline group won first place in their division. So so they came home with a big trophy.
Yay! Does everybody get a trophy? So everybody gets a trophy. Oh, just the people
one
that
trophy
actually
for the school. Yeah.
Oh, that they have to put in the case.
You don't get to take it home. They have to keep it in the band room.
You know what? That's pretty awesome. Did you hear how the meetup was for the Mark Thompson and everybody's kind of
did hear
winery
that. As a
type of
matter
thing.
of
Did
fact,
anybody?
I have a picture.
Oh, you do? Good. Good,
Let
good,
me
good,
I
good,
have to
good.
find it.
It's okay, you find it. But
I
did you
forgot
hear
what
any
I called
stories? I'm
it.
assuming because there was a handful of you that were going to it. If anyone is in
Yeah.
the comments that was able to go out to the winery, I know a bunch of you that watch Mark Thompson's show. You also support this show and Kim's show. It's really awesome. You guys were able to meet at a
Mhm.
winery in Los Gatos. What was the name of the winery again? I'm blanking on it.
Testarossa.
Testarossa, that was it.
Mhm.
We got to have meetups where we can all kind of meet in the middle because Kim's all the way up in Petaluma. I'm all
I
the way
know.
down in San Jose. Mark's really far south. So yeah, it's just, I don't know if we're ever going to be able to all meet together, but yeah, very, very fun. I'm so glad that they were able to meet and drink some wine. I can only imagine the stories and everything that they were telling, but I'm glad that everyone was able to meet up and drink and, because we're only able to do it virtually and do all that. So no picture yet.
I'm
Oh,
sorry.
thank you.
I
Yes, it
have
is.
it.
It is my 46th birthday. It's not a big one either. Although you never know, right? Every single one. It's not yet. It's Scorpio season though. And my work is so very sweet. They really go all out for birthdays. So they asked me all these questions.
Oh,
So I feel
that's
like they're gonna
sweet.
do things for my birthday and all sorts of stuff. So that's really, really sweet. So it is my birthday. Well, while you find that, we are gonna talk about all things, Trump being fascist versus loyal. That's gonna come up. Also,
Oh
good news in
god.
Pennsylvania regarding
Mhm.
protecting the votes out there. Crazy story. And I don't know if you talked about it earlier because the story came out earlier this week about Mark Zuckerberg and Meta and how this woman had to pay to get her account back because it had been hacked. And I want to play the news story a bit because it's kind of a visual for those that are watching because I think she kind of got screwed by Meta. And when I show you, you'll understand why. And then we have this towards the end of the show. Halloween is obviously coming up next week. And there's this Halloween competition that just rings really, really bad idea. So we'll be talking
Mhm.
about that later on towards the end of the show. And you guys tell me if you're dressing up or anything for Halloween. So that's all coming up. All right. So let's talk about Trump while Kim tries to find that picture. Maybe we'll
Here's
have it
the
towards the
picture. I
Oh,
have it
okay.
up.
Okay.
Mhm.
Oh, there you go. Yay. Okay. I don't know if you remember the names of everybody in the picture. Are you that good?
So I think I am.
Okay.
All right, you
Are you
ready?
this
We'll
good?
start at
Okay. Okay.
the
Okay.
left. That's Steve.
Okay. On the far left. Okay. That's Steve
Steve
sitting down.
on the bottom row. That's Steve is Heather's boyfriend and Heather.
Oh, Heather.
Mhm.
Nice.
And then I think that's Ricky
In the
Aubert
blue
in the blue
shirt?
shirt. Uh-huh.
Aw.
And then there's SJ Lola or Laura in the stripy shirt.
That's SJ Lola. That's
Uh-huh.
fun.
I know these people are
Okay.
so beautiful. And then Lee and Eileen, Lee in the going right up
Lee
from
Cop?
Laura,
Is that Lee
purple
Cop?
shirt. Mhm,
Okay.
Lee and Eileen.
Oh, cool.
And then I think that's Deidre next to Eileen.
Okay. I know the names. I know the names.
And
Okay.
then I think that's Sandy next to Deidre.
In the black. Okay.
Uh-huh. And I think this is I wanna say Nancy
With the long hair right there.
yeah, I that's the only one I'm
Nancy,
sketching on.
it has to be because that's the name you have. Nancy, is that you with the long hair on the far left? I'm hoping
Is it
that is.
Nancy? Oh, it is Nancy. Okay, good. Yeah.
Perfection.
I thought it was you, Nancy. Yeah.
Oh,
Yay!
I love it. What a great picture and what a great memory. Okay, we have to do it again. We have to do it
Mhm.
again. So that's so much fun. I'm glad it was a beautiful, beautiful day also. So perfect weather for you guys to drink wine and get a little tipsy at the winery. All
And
right, go
look
ahead.
how cute they are. They're
I
just so,
know.
like, happy and cute, and what a good-looking group,
I know,
seriously.
right? I mean, look how happy. Look at SJ Lola. Like she's holding up that glass like she's having a good old time. They all look so happy right there.
Her and Heather, she and Heather are doing the cheers. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. That's good. All right. Well, good times, you guys. Awesome. 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 All right. Let's get into the fascist question. Now, here's the thing. Okay. Trump has always been compared to Hitler, right? Like this is not a new thing,
Truth.
especially in recent years. or actually recent months, right? When he's like, I'll be a dictator on day one.
Well,
Just one day of being a dictator, that might be a good thing, right?
and it's
So,
also the language is heating up, right?
right,
Like
exactly.
calling immigrants vermin.
Right.
What else did he say? Some other like fascist Hitlerian language. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's
Mhm.
not as if this isn't out of left field. It's the
Oh,
comparison.
enemy within, right?
Right. The
Yeah.
comparison between, I mean, even back in 2016, I mean, the comparison between Trump and Hitler is not new. I don't understand why people are like, how could they compare him to Hitler or a fascist? What are you talking about? Like, he acts like it, going after people that protest, right? Trying to quiet dissenters, getting rid of people within his cabinet, when he was president before, right? He kicked people out that spoke against him. He fired people, right? Remember, he wanted to shoot at protesters. These are things that dictators slash fascists do. So I don't understand why people are clutching their pearls as if this is something new. But of course, now that we're like less than 2 weeks away from the election, Donald Trump's,
Mm.
panties are in a bunch about it. Now, of course, Kamala Harris is using this to her advantage. Here she is. I believe this was. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I'm going to show the panties in the bunch. This was, of course, Fox News hosts clutching their pearls about it. And again, the thing that they always do, which is what he meant to say, or trying to explain it away, which is total BS.
What the president wants. And then you factor in the fact that he runs his own company, coming from the business world, the first one we've ever had. It's not even a public company. And then he obviously has frustration. And I could absolutely see him go, now, you know what? It'll be great to have German generals that actually do what we asked them to do. Knowing maybe not fully being cognizant of the third rail of German generals were Nazis and whatever. But he was frustrated with the slowdown of
I mean, not being cognizant of what you're talking about. Again, stop trying to explain away what everybody knows. Donald Trump doesn't care. We should not have to explain away what a president means. He should know what he means, what he says. We should take at face value. And I think that he does want Hitler's generals. I think he does.
Yeah,
He
absolutely.
wants people that will kill for him. He wants people that will literally shoot at people at a moment's notice and say, I am going to do whatever you want to do. And that's it. And if you say it goes against the Constitution and what you want goes against the Constitution, that's absolutely fine. I don't care. And that's it.
The truth is, you heard them on Fox News trying to make excuses for his remarks. You heard him say, well, he doesn't really, he's a great businessman. He might not, know exactly the third rail. I think he meant the Third Reich. He might not really know.
Well, I think he meant the third rail, like you don't touch that third rail.
Don't
talking about Nazis.
I'm like, I don't even know what that guy is saying. He's talking out of his ass.
He's an idiot. Yeah.
But I feel like we're making excuses and we're saying, oh, he doesn't really mean that. He doesn't really mean that people that disagree with him, American citizens, are the enemy within. He doesn't really mean that he's going to come after American citizens with the military. He doesn't really, it's so astronomical to us, or so outrageous to us. He doesn't really mean that immigrants are vermin, like rats that you stamp out. He doesn't really mean those things, does he?
Yes.
He's not really that ugly. How quickly we forget, Nikki. Found this on the internet.
Oh, please.
Our fathers fought fascists. They didn't vote for them. How quickly we forget that our grandfathers, maybe fathers, depending on your age range, fought for America against fascists like Hitler and like Mussolini. We are Americans. We are a democracy. We get to choose and vote and have a voice. We don't vote for people that like Hitler. We don't vote for people that try to steal our votes. We don't do that. That is not who we are as a people. And these folks that are Republicans that are waving around the American flag and wearing the red, white, and blue with their little flag pins on, they are supporting someone who is supporting wholly un-American thoughts, and we should be ashamed. And I feel like my grandfather, our fathers would be ashamed of anyone the minute that it was compared to Hitler. The minute that he started using that type of speech, there's a whole generation of people who would go, whoa, what are we supporting? Right?
And not only that, how he talks about America. I think this was today. This is how Donald Trump speaks about America. An America, by the way, that is filled with immigrants. Now, remember our history. This is why they don't like to talk about American history. We don't teach American history, right? I mean, we like to forget American history. I don't know what history Donald Trump likes to remember, but it's not our true history. But this is how he talks about America. This is how he talks about it. Oh, here. Hold on. Let me bring it up.
Border and through. When Kamala came in, she deliberately dismantled our border and threw open the gates. She threw them open. The gates to an invasion of criminal migrants from prisons and jails, from insane asylums and mental institutions, from all over the world, from Venezuela to the Congo in Africa. A lot of people coming out of the Congo, not just South America. They're coming from 181 countries as of yesterday. Right, and we're a dumping ground. We're like a garbage can for the world. That's what's happened. That's what's happened.
He calls America a garbage can. Listen,
we're like a garbage can. You know, it's the first time I've ever said that. And every time I come up and talk about what they've done to our country, I get angrier and angrier. First time I've ever said garbage can, but you know what? It's a very accurate description.
No, that's how he talked about it.
Meanwhile, she cruelly forced our border agents to help facilitate her wicked betrayal of America. And by the way, the Border Patrol last week gave us their complete and total endorsement, and they said she is the worst. I want to thank them.
But it's just like, that's somebody you want as president, who thinks of our country as a garbage can. You know, this country is built on the back of immigrants. And did you pay attention to the countries he mentions? He never mentions immigrants from white countries. Never. It's always brown and black countries. That is why people call him a fascist. That is why he wants a certain look, religion. That is why. That is why. It is absolutely ridiculous. And so I don't know how people could want someone like that as the president of the United States. He does not represent the United States.
At least once a day, I ask myself, how could half the country support this guy? How could it happen?
I just don't understand. Thank you so much, Rev, for the $5 donation. I'll start contributing more. All my money went to the campaigns. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Thank you, Rev. Yes. Happy birthday, Nikki. Thank you. May your infectious, youthful spirit last forever. From your lips to God's ears, my friend. Thank you. Thank you.
Have you donated to the Kamala Harris campaign?
I have donated actually multiple times.
I have donated at least 3 times, and I'm fixing for a 4th.
I mean,
because I just
have to.
I don't want her to not have as many resources. And when Elon Musk is kicking down $75 million, I know that Bill Gates gave Kamala Harris $50 million, but these are the moments that matter. Mm-hmm. These are the things that matter. I wanted to mention, though, regarding the clip you played and the excuses being made for Trump. Teacher Lori brings this in. Mm. It's sane washing. It's making it normal. It is not normal. This speech is un-American, and it is not normal.
Who says that America is a garbage can when they're running for president of the United States? Who does that?
What do you put in a garbage can?
We're trash, apparently.
Trash.
We're trash.
So what he's saying is immigrants are nothing more than trash.
Yeah.
Immigrants are the garbage of the world.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? We are a nation of immigrants. What happened to the American ideals? Lift your lamp by the golden door. What happened what happened to our country that so many people could embrace this ugliness?
It's so crazy. Harry, thank you so much for the donation. $29. Happy birthday. Here's $1 for each year. I love you. You are so sweet, Harry. I
Harry's
love
a
you to
fundy
death.
today. He's
I love
awesome.
you. I love you,
Yes.
Harry. Thank you. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, I mean, and you're so right. Like, again, he feels and his supporters clap while he calls them garbage because they obviously think that they're not, even though they are immigrants, but because their skin doesn't look like the same, even though they're immigrants, we're all immigrants, but because we came over at a time that apparently is okay, right? We crossed at a certain time, so that makes it okay. It's not, right? And I think Trump said he's like, I want to go back to, what was it, 1798? That was his ideal time. That's the time he wants to go back, right? Women couldn't vote. There were slaves. That's Donald Trump's ideal America? Are you insane? It boggles my freaking mind. It really, really does.
John says, I feel the same way about Harris. I feel your pain. So are you saying you don't like Kamala Harris, that you're a Trump guy? Is that what you're saying?
Oh,
I don't
John
know.
is totally a Trump guy.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh yeah, John's. I just don't know how you can make the comparison between how Kamala Harris talks about Americans and America, John, and how Donald Trump talks about Americans and America. I mean, I literally just played for you, John, how he's calling America garbage. He called our country garbage, a garbage can, because immigrants, well, certain immigrants, because they're brown and black, certain immigrants, garbage, human beings, garbage. Now, I understand that immigration has been broken for a long time and we need reform, and it hasn't been fixed by Democrats and Republicans alike. But to call people garbage is really awful, especially when you're married, by the way, to an immigrant. Like, it just seems. He stated that other countries treat our country like a garbage can. Yeah, like he's saying we're a garbage can, John.
Again, he's calling people trash, John.
It's
human beings.
Again, you're explaining it for Donald Trump. I can't handle this explanation of what he meant. He stands on a national, if not international stage and speaks poorly of our country at a time when he's running for president. It's disgusting and it's shameful. And I don't know how you could fill in the bubble next to his name, but you do you. Vote, people. Just vote. And
Teacher Lori says we're forgetting our history.
Yep.
Chinese Exclusion Act, calling Irish immigrants lower than dogs, Japanese internment. Exactly. And she's right. Maybe it is the American way to
be like this,
demean people in this fashion.
Exactly. White-skinned people do this. They do. And that is why Donald Trump is often called a fascist. It's not a surprising accusation. It's not a stretch. It's not a stretch. Because again, going back to the countries he was talking about, they were very similar, right? He's not upset at the country his wife came from. There was no mention.
Both of his wives.
There's never a mention of the immigrants because you don't notice them coming
His
to the
mother
country.
Came from Scotland.
Right.
His first wife came from somewhere in the Eastern European bloc.
Right. We don't
Melania
notice them.
Is from wherever she's from. Hungary,
they blend right
Czechoslovakia,
in. Yeah.
somewhere.
They blend right in Donald Trump's world. Right. They blend. I wonder why. I wonder what makes them blend so well, John. I wonder what it could be. So it's crazy. Now, this is something that always chaps my hide, Kim McAllister. And it's the MO of outgoing Republicans. It's like, where were you when we actually needed you to do and say these things? And that, of course, is speak out. Now, I will give McConnell a little bit. He did speak out on January 6th. He did. But again, now he's out with a book, a memoir. And now he's speaking out about Donald Trump.
Stupid, despicable, narcissist. Those are the words that Mitch McConnell reportedly used to describe Donald Trump after the 2020 election, according to an upcoming biography of the Senate Republican leader.
Because he knows.
Press has new excerpts from their reporter tonight revealing that McConnell privately said in a recorded diary of his, quote, "It's not just the Democrats who are counting down the days until Trump leaves office." And, quote, "For a narcissist like Trump, his 2020 election loss has been really hard to take." And another, McConnell reportedly called Trump stupid, ill-tempered, adding that he can't even figure out where his own best interests lie. My panel is back. I should mention, Scott, what are your thoughts on the book? Not on the book. What are your thoughts on what McConnell said about Donald Trump?
Well, they're not going to be golfing buddies. These are two guys who couldn't be different. Brash New York real estate developer versus
a Republican on the panel.
Southern, institutionalist senator. That didn't stop them from working together before, and it's not stopping McConnell from realizing what the best direction of the country is now. But there is really, obviously, no disputing. McConnell was really, really upset with Trump at the end of his administration, at the end of December, and then on January the 6th. He made that clear in public statements. He made it clear on the Senate floor. He's made it clear in this book. That's never going to change. I mean, he has very strong feelings about what Trump did that day. At the same time, he also has strong feelings about the future of the direction of the government and of the country. And like he said in his statement today, a lot of Republicans have had disagreements with Trump over the years. And now they're all back on the same page.
No, this is a statement worth reading in full. Sometimes we sum them up. This is what McConnell said today when this report came out. He said, quote, "Whatever I may have said about President Trump pales in comparison to what J.D. Vance, Lindsey Graham, and others have said about him. But we are all on the same team now."
It's interesting. I don't know. I mean, now, Calvin, you had said he's still going to vote for Trump. I don't know.
Oh, I know. They're selling their souls. They know exactly who he is. They know exactly how dangerous he is, and they want the power, and they want the majority in their respective houses. And
they're going to vote for him? I feel like
absolutely will, and they will sell their souls to get there. They will sell their souls. They will sell their dignity, and they will sell their essence of who they are and who they are as Americans to get the power. They will absolutely do it.
I mean, I would have said that in 2016 and obviously 2020. I don't know anymore. And this is me hoping, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between 2016 and 2020 and now is the lessons learned about Donald Trump, right? It's like, wait a minute, we wanted to get certain things passed, and Donald Trump didn't necessarily fall in line with those things, right? He became a hindrance in certain things that we wanted to get done if he didn't like it, right? And then he brought in all these wackadoo people who made it difficult to get things passed. And then he kind of changed the party with all these wackadoos, so we can't get anything passed. So maybe we need to deal with a Democratic president for 4 to 8 years and get back to some sanity. I don't know. That's maybe my wishful thinking. I just don't know if they want to deal with another 4 years. But do you think they really like J.D. Vance? I don't know. I just feel like this is my hope, that they're saying they're going to vote for Donald Trump, but they're really not. That's what I hope. That there's a lot of Republicans that are going out publicly stating it because they're scared of MAGA voters because they're badass crazy, right? And just saying, yeah, of course I'm voting for Trump. And then you get in the ballot booth and you're like, hell freaking no, I'm not voting for that wackadoo. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to deal with this Trump MAGA crap anymore. And I'm done. I would hope that we are just exhausted. I think it was our friend Noe Marie. She had posted something on I think it was like one of her reels or something, some sort of meme. It's just like, I think it's really unfair that we've had to deal with 3 Trump election cycles. It is exhausting. It's absolutely exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. I mean, to do this 3 times with this asshat, That's insane. We should not have to go through this 3 times.
So Eric is accusing us of being one-sided. And I will admit
against Trump, absolutely,
that we come
100%,
we come down a certain way.
Oh yes,
But I will
100%.
say,
But
Eric
not against all Republicans. Not against all
I will
Republicans.
say, Eric Wertheimer, when Democrats need to be called out,
We
call them out. And you made this comment, and I agree with you. You said 2 weeks before the election, Joe Biden called for locking up Trump. And I don't have the exact quote, but it was something like President Biden said that Trump needs to be locked up politically, locked out politically, this type of thing. It was an egregious mistake on President Biden's part.
Okay.
Because I truly believe that Trump broke a myriad of laws in all of these cases facing him. And I believe that appointing a special counsel, Merrick Garland appointing the special counsel, was lawful. And I think that he's being held, to account via this avenue, this legal avenue. And I completely disagree with Trump's call that it's a political prosecution, a political persecution, what have you. But for President Biden to come out and say that, to lock Trump up politically, I feel like that gives credence to Trump's argument that this is political.
I think that we are holding Biden to such a higher standard than we hold Trump, that Biden should be able to say a million friggin' things because Donald Trump has said so many awful
Can you imagine?
things.
No one else could get away with saying
Go
all this.
cry in a corner if we're going to hold Joe Biden to one statement in comparison to the crap that Donald Trump has said. Should we laundry list the things that Donald Trump has said, the threats, flat out threats that Donald Trump has said, and we're going to cry about Joe Biden saying he should be locked up politically? Please. This is the problem with Donald Trump supporters. They cry about every friggin' thing that Joe Biden or Kamala Harris says and never hold Donald Trump accountable for anything he says.
Oh, Trump
needs to sit in a corner, please.
If Trump broke the law, which, I mean, come on, does anybody think he didn't?
Yeah.
Then, except for John, then I feel like he needs to pay for that. But I do think that it was a mistake for President Biden to say this. So here's the quote. He said, quote, "So I know this sounds bizarre. I said this 5 years ago. If I said this 5 years ago, you'd lock me up. We got to lock him up." This is President Biden speaking. Politically lock him up, lock him out. That is what we have to do. Lock him up, lock him out. Politically, yes. So
politically, yes. Lock him out. Lock him out of the White House. Hell yeah.
I don't think, and I know that Trump, and then Trump comes back and he says, "Lock him up." What kind of language is that?
Oh my God. Go
lock him up. That's what you said to Hillary Clinton. Lock her up, over and over again. At all of his rallies, there's the lock her up chant. And now he's upset about that. I really feel that it was a political mistake for President Biden to say that, because if anyone has even the inkling that this could be politically motivated, these cases against Trump, then I don't think it was worth that statement. Do you know what I mean? I want it to be clean. I want it to be obvious that he broke the laws and this is the right course of action. When you start saying stuff like that, it casts a shadow, and I don't want the shadow.
I don't think it casts any shadow. I think everybody knows what Joe Biden meant. I don't think that it needs to be explained at all. I think that politically locking him out of the White House is totally fine. And again, this need to hold Joe Biden's explanation to some sort of under a microscope when Donald Trump very clearly says things that nobody should say and be able to run for president. Again, Cheryl says, no, two can play at that same game. And I don't even think that Joe Biden said anything wrong. I don't even think it's the same game. I really don't. I really honestly don't. I think that what Joe Biden meant politically, locking Donald Trump out, is absolutely true. He should be nowhere near the White House. Zero. Not even within 100 feet. It should be like a restraining order against the White House.
So here's the problem. Here's the conundrum for me, and tell me that I'm wrong.
Okay.
If I'm upset, as we talked about in the beginning of the show, that Trump is talking about sicking the military on American citizens, about going after people, the media, Jimmy Kimmel, whomever, people that Nancy Pelosi, Adam Schiff, people that disagree with him. If Trump is doing that, and I am outraged because Americans should be able to have their opinions and speak freely,
of course,
then I feel like, and he's the one yelling, lock them up, and he's going after people for having opinions. What I don't want, and even though I don't believe President Biden meant this, I don't want President Biden to say, lock him up, Trump, for Trump having his own, though I feel they're wild and wacky, political opinions. Trump should be able to be out there and have his own opinions and do what he wants without the threat of being locked up because of his
that's not why we want to lock him up.
But that's no, we want to lock him up because he's a criminal and he's committed crimes.
That's what we mean.
That's the case. But then don't say lock him up politically, because then you're venturing into Trump's speech. Well, and if I disagree with it from Trump, then I disagree with it from President Biden as well.
But don't you think we also want to lock him up politically, because when he was president, an outgoing president, he stole all of those documents. Well, that is a political move. That's a political move. But that was 5 years ago. I mean, if he's talking about 5 years ago.
Angry, shocked, and outraged about what Trump did to this country.
Right.
That I have been clamoring to see him in an orange jumpsuit for years.
Right.
He belongs in the dirtiest, nastiest lockup cell in America.
Exactly.
But I don't want to say lock him up politically. I don't want to give credence to Trump's argument that this is somehow politically motivated. It's motivated because he's a criminal and he broke the law, and he's an extremely bad person. He's a bad guy. He's a villain. He deserves to head straight to jail. But I don't want it to be seen as, or have anyone have the appearance of, that this is politically motivated.
This is why I disagree with you. And this again is why I disagree with you about using the word politically. And it again has to do with politics. The fact that he undermined our elections, that is political. He lied about our elections, knowing he lost the last election. That's political. The fact that he keeps up that election lie and what it did to our country disqualifies him from running. That is political, Kim. He is not. He should not be a candidate for president. That is political. He has locked himself out. I've said it a million times. The Republican Party does not have a candidate in my mind for president. They did not choose one. They have a criminal. They have someone that's completely disqualified himself because he's a liar. He lied about the last election, and he continues to lie about the last election. There was nothing funny about the last election, except when you ask, oh, there was something. There was nothing. That was the most scrutinized election that we've ever had. He never produced any evidence of fraud ever, even though he kept saying that. That was a lie. That was political. So I disagree. Absolutely. I think it was completely for his political gain to lie to the American people. So I do think he should be locked out of the White House because he's destroyed. He undermined the presidency by lying to the American people. So I disagree completely. I understand your worry. Yeah. I do understand your worry, but I think in this case, both politically and criminally, Donald Trump has excluded himself from the presidency of the United States. Absolutely. I just do.
Cindy says, sadly, Trump is saying actually what elected Hitler did, lock up opposition political politicians. I don't know what you're saying. Yeah,
he locked up opposition political. He locked up opposition politicians. Those the opposition press, right? Yeah, the gays, all those people. Yeah, so he locked up all those people. He got anyone that opposed him. He locked up. Yeah. Again, there's so many comparisons. It's not hard to see the line. You know what I mean?
Cheryl says, no one's going to pat us on the back for being proper and nice with Trump. We need to play the same game he's playing. And I was watching CNN last night, and they had this town hall with Kamala Harris, and there were 5 voters. And they were asked afterward what they thought and if they had changed their minds. And one of the women who said I think she said she'd be voting for Kamala Harris, said she was also disappointed to see that in recent weeks, Kamala Harris's because she wasn't sinking down like Michelle Obama. When they go low, we go high. She wasn't engaging in that. She was talking about herself. She was getting to know the American people. She was talking about policies. And now we see her kind of coming out against a little bit more verbally aggressive when it comes to Trump, right? She's talked about him saying the enemy within. She's talked about some of the things he's doing. And this woman said, I liked her more when she didn't delve down into that type of, political mudflinging. So I don't know what's right. Is it right to have her stay above the fray, or is it right to have her, dive right down in there and fling the mud with him?
Well, here's my question. I think that Kamala Harris is trying to convey to the American people that this is not the time to F around. And I think that's what she's trying to get across to people. It's like, stop thinking that this is just like 2016. Oh, I'm going to vote for Trump as a joke. Because I think that in 2016, a lot of people did that. I really do. I think a lot of people are like, I'm just going to vote for Donald Trump. This is not the time to laugh and vote for Donald Trump. This is not the time to not vote. That is what I think she's trying to get across to people. Is like, he's serious. He's been also in the White House, and he's not going to make the same mistake as in getting people that are going to say no to him in his cabinet again. That is what I think, and why she is speaking about those things so sternly. It's not that she's getting in the mud. It's just that she's trying to get across to people who he truly is, and explain to people, like, this guy is saying this is what he means. Stop listening to the Fox spin. This is what he's saying. When she told Brett Baer that wasn't the right clip, you know what he's really saying. That's what she means. And on one hand, I get it. Like, you want to just be, stay high. I gotta F that. Like, he's not. Stop.
I completely agree. But part of me likes to see a Kamala Harris that is nothing but presidential. And we know, however wrong it is, that women have to, what was it Van Jones said last night? I think his name is Van Jones. I might get
Van
the
Jones is his
name wrong. He said that he can be lawless and she has to be flawless.
Yeah, that's a good quote.
Right?
That's a good quote.
Totally quote. And so I feel like, keeping her clean and away from this, and having surrogates go after him, having Buttigieg and Obama and Clinton, come after and remind the American people what a complete cad, idiot, criminal, pick a, villainous adjective he is. And to keep her presidential, because I don't want her to have to lower herself like that.
Yeah. Kathleen says girls are supposed to be nice all the time. You know what I also saw, and which was interesting, and forgive me because I forget who was making this point, which I didn't even realize a lot, which kind of I'm disappointed in myself. And it's not 100% all the time, but pay attention to it. When we talk about men, especially in politics, we use their last names. But when we talk about women, we use their first. And how it's kind of, we take away the power from women. Now, I'm not saying we never say Harris. We say Harris, but we also use Kamala, and how they've used her name and then not said it correctly, right? Yeah. They never say Harris. Yeah. They always say Kamala wrong. We said Hillary all the time, and they've taken it. Hillary's used Hillary. Yeah. Even AOC. Marjorie Taylor Greene just uses MTG, right? We've done this. It's an interesting type of thing of women, strong women, in politics. Now, I will say Elizabeth Warren used her last name, so it's not 100%. I'm not saying that, but just this sort of idea of even removing a little bit of the power from these very powerful women. Trump knows how to say Kamala Harris's name. He knows how to say it 100%.
Totally.
But they do it on purpose. And that in and of itself makes me despise them. Yeah. It's just bully behavior. It's bully behavior. It's Harris if you're nasty. I love that. Exactly.
I had this debate early on with Mark, when the moment Mark Thompson, who has another show here on YouTube. If you haven't seen it, it's great. The Mark Thompson Show. When Kamala Harris ran, Biden stepped aside and she was the candidate. And we had to start coming up with these headlines. And the headlines would say, Kamala this, Trump that. And I pointed out, if we're using his last name, then we should use her last name. It should match. And he pointed out to me that she's using it. So you'll get emails from Kamala HQ, right?
Right.
And so if she is calling herself Kamala, and then we should be able to do that as well. Right. I don't know if I agree with it, because I really feel like it should be an even and level playing field. We don't really call him Donald. We call him Trump.
Right.
All the time.
Well, some people go Don Old, right?
Right. Don Old.
And so but also there is such a thing as ingrained things within women, right? So Kamala might have just taken on the Kamala because it's ingrained in women to do such things, right?
Sure.
Maybe also, Kamala's a memorable name.
That's what
Harris,
I was thinking. It's
versus
different.
Harris, you know what I mean?
Sticks out. You remember someone named Kamala. Yeah.
Right. There's, it's a marketing, branding sort of thing. So you could do that. I don't know. It's just one of those things that stuck out to me because, again, women in politics, women of color, having a different sort of name, those sorts of things, Yeah, Vicky says, I never liked Michelle Obama's comment about going high when they go low. If they go low, call them on it. Yeah, but when you call them on it and you're a woman,
then you call you a bitch. You look like a bee. That's right.
Then they call you a bitch. Like what? She's a complaining bitch. It's like, no, you're supposed. And like, there's a quote by Taylor Swift when she's just talking about men in general. But she's like something to the effect. Yeah. Well, it's like, no, just kind of, she's like, you're supposed to absorb male behavior, like offensive male behavior, instead of calling them on it. Yep. And your reaction to their offensive behavior is in some way offensive in and of itself. And in so many words, she says that. It's like, no, I'm just calling you on your crap. It's not me. Like, my offense to your bad behavior is not an offense. You're the one that did something wrong. So it's so frustrating. And we're a long ways away from women being able to do these sorts of things, to call out men in power's behavior without the blowback. Because women have not traditionally in this country been in power yet. We have not had a female president in so many years, right? That this country's been around. We are not equal in the C-suite in owning gigantic companies, right? So until we start seeing that as the norm, we're not there yet. We're just not there yet.
Do you have on your list of things to discuss this evening the Tucker Carlson rally thing?
No, I what is it? I saw something in the comments about it. What is it?
I need to share it with you because it's so misogynist, pervy,
you said Tucker,
creepy,
so of course.
Unacceptable.
Okay.
That this is the way that we rile up a crowd to get them, I don't know, get their testosterone pumped and flowing to, and it kind of goes along with what you're saying about Taylor Swift and what women have to deal with. And it is the craziest S that I have seen. I mean, wow.
Allow your 2-year-old to smear the contents of his diapers on the wall of your living room, and you do nothing about it. If you allow your 14-year-old to light a joint at the breakfast table, if you allow your hormone-addled 15-year-old daughter to slam the door of her bedroom and give you the finger, you're going to get more of it. And those kids are going to wind up in rehab. It's not good for you, and it's not good for them. No. There has to be a point at which dad comes home. Yeah, that's right. Dad comes home. And he's pissed. Dad is pissed. He's not vengeful. He loves his children.
Look at him freaking out.
Disobedient as they may be, he loves them. Because they're his children, they live in his house. But he's very disappointed in their behavior. And he's gonna have to let them know. He's gonna have to get to your room right now and think about what you did And when dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl.
Ew.
You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right
Ew.
now. And no, it's not gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. And you earned this. You're getting a vigorous spanking because you've been a bad girl.
What the hell?
And it has to be this way. It has to be this way because it's true. And you're only gonna get better when you take responsibility for what you did. That's not said in the spirit of hate. It's not said in the spirit of vengeance or bigotry. Far from it. It's said in the spirit of justice.
Or child abuse.
Which is the purest and best thing there is. And without it, things fall apart.
It sounded like he wanted to really spank his daughter. I mean, that just sounded a little too like he really was too into that. That was
You're
weird.
a bad little girl. I'll give you a vigorous spanking. And
Ew.
then he introduces Trump and he said, and the whole crowd is yelling, "Daddy's home, daddy's home."
Ew.
Like Trump is supposed to be our big daddy who's going to come in and give America a vigorous spanking.
Ew. He's so weird.
What? Like what? Where am I? In what alternate realm have I been dropped into that this is somehow okay?
And it was a vigorous spanking too.
It was a vigorous one, yeah. Not just a spanking.
Vigorous.
He's
and
talking
it's
about
not going to
spanking
hurt
a
me more than it
15-year-old
hurts
girl.
you. And he has 3 daughters.
Nikki
He has
and I
3
both have
daughters.
15-year-old girls who are hormone addled.
He's
I would
gross.
never spank her.
I've never spanked my kids. I've
No,
never
me
spanked my
neither.
kids.
Mm-mm.
You know, and what's interesting is you know, and I get it. Like he's the dad, and this whole dad's coming home. Like I'm gonna tell your father, kind of crap, right? Like, what was the whole point of that speech, though? Is that we've got to.
I guess it appeals to men, right? Daddy's home and he's pissed. The men are coming in and we're mad and we're going to take control and we're going to spank you.
Is this supposed to be for the country? He's using an analogy like we're the country and Donald Trump's the dad and he's going to get us in line. Is this
because people were screaming
the
daddy's
analogy?
home when Trump comes up? People are like, daddy's home.
MAGA can bend over and take it on the ass all they want. I'm not going to do that. Sorry.
Male
that
power
is so weird.
To beat children and be pervy and weird. Like, I don't know. I don't understand. Help me understand.
So weird. It is so odd. I swear, you know, they project weirdness left and right. You know what I mean? Like Dems don't do that. Dems don't do that.
Mama's like, somebody call CPS. Those girls at his Carlson's house need some help.
Exactly. His kids, Lily, Dorothy, and Hoppy. I'm assuming Hopie, Hoppy. His son's name is Buckley. So yeah, that's Tucker's kids. That's weird,
boy was
man.
Smoking a joint at the kitchen table, but no spanking for him.
No, I bet not. You know, or smearing the crap on the walls. I have no idea.
Agolf reminds us that every QAnon accusation is actually
exactly. Oh, exactly. They're always projecting what they're doing. It's crazy. That's weird. Who's your daddy, Phineas? Yeah, exactly. It's vigorously spanking. Someone needs to make that into like one of those loop reels. You know what I mean? Vigorously spanking.
So either he has like some weird fantasy spanking thing happening, which, you know what? 2 consenting adults, you do you.
Adults, but not with your kids, dude.
No.
Like, no.
We're talking punishing children, and it's weird.
Vilma's
like, Daddy's going to end up in jail with a restraining order.
Can you imagine being his kids and watching that speech and being like, what the F is going on? Like, no, thank you.
Is your daddy in prison, Trump?
Odd. He is such an odd duck, but whatever.
Is that not outrageous, though? Like, and you saw the crowd all like whipped up into a frenzy about, your daddy is angry and he's home and he's pissed.
I mean,
really? Like, that's what gets you excited?
Probably. I mean, again, they will cheer for anything. Again, they cheered for, calling their own country garbage. So, they'll cheer for anything. They cheer. I wonder if there's like a, when you go to like game shows or talk shows, there's like a applause thing like Make sure you clap. Make sure you clap. It's like, whatever, man. I'm not clapping for you vigorously spanking your daughters. Bend over and I bet you he does it. I mean, again, it's always a confession. It's always a confession. It's just
Kevin's
odd.
like daddy issues.
Exactly.
Must be something.
Exactly.
And is that what America from Egg says, from Arnold's junk to daddy's home?
Yeah.
If that's what people want, you know, a big daddy to come take control and punish the people that have done the wrong. Is that where we really are? Is that what people really want?
Well, remember they asked those people, well, just a dictator on day one. Yeah. Remember they said it. They've said it. They're like, yeah, it's fine. I want a dictator. That's how brainwashed MAGA is. Not all Republicans, MAGA. They're like, yeah, that's fine. There was a woman. And now, again, I don't believe every TikTok video that I see. So who knows if this story was real. But this woman was like, I was a waitress in whatever Hobuck town, right? And so she was, serving this table, and the people that she was serving, the woman assumed that the waitress was voting for Donald Trump. And she's like, just a few more days, your tips won't be taxed, and was kept assuming. And she's like, okay. And she just wanted to get the tips and whatever. And she's like, and basically at the end of the whole thing, she's like, he's going to just don't question him. He'll take care of everything. And it was like this whole, and I was like, I don't know if I fully believe the story, but it was this whole like, we don't question Donald Trump.
Don't question him, question
just
everything.
And I'm like, what the hell? Now, again, it's on social media. Who knows? She could have been doing it for clicks.
Stepford citizens, huh?
Yeah. But like, what the hell are you talking about? There's people that walk still across the overpass in Gilroy on 101. And you know what? If those people were a different shade of skin color, people would have been like, get a job. But because they're a bunch of white people, it's like, it's A-okay. I'm like, at 3:00 in the afternoon, what the hell are you doing up there walking back and forth? You know what I mean? Like, you can do it. It's your job, it's your prerogative. But stop already. Stop. Thank you, Louise, for the $5 donation. The same clowns that criticize Kamala for not talking issues and policy want their quote unquote daddy. What pathetic losers. Okay, that's the IPA talking. Love ya. Cheers, my friend. And thank you for the donation. Yeah, Cheryl says that's true. They don't question him. They are like, well, that's what he meant. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's crazy. And then did you see how Elon Musk, his super PAC apparently has stopped with that whole $1 million giveaway thing?
Well,
now, I don't know if it's
illegal.
Well, once they heard it was illegal, they haven't given any out. I bet you they were full of crap. I bet you they were never going to give.
They never intended to give any money.
They just wanted people to register. It's just they just wanted people to register.
I don't think they were ever going to do it. You can't pay people to vote.
I mean, it just never seemed like it was on the up and up anyway. But again, Elon Musk, Donald Trump, that whole ilk, it's just, I just want them all to just go away. Elon Musk is weird. Donald Trump, weird. Just go away.
Well, look at the main surrogates for Trump. They really are weird.
Yes.
Tucker Carlson. Okay, that was weird. I don't know what that was, but that was some weird S.
Yes.
And then you've got Musk jumping around on stage, leaping. Right? Good impression. So those are the people speaking out for Donald Trump. They're weird.
Yes.
And on the other side, you've got President Barack Obama. Right?
I know.
You've got Pete Buttigieg,
who was doing Eminem, by the way. Like, I'm sorry, Barack Obama in Detroit is just so cool. I'm sorry.
Did you see it? I think I might have it if you want to see it.
I mean, he was doing his speech and he was quoting Eminem. He thought, I love Obama. He really thought that Eminem was going to come back out and start doing it. But I mean, there's a president that knows the lyrics to "Lose Yourself" by Eminem, and did it well, and put it seamlessly into a speech. And Donald Trump just calls our country garbage. I am sorry. There's not going to be a cooler president than Barack Obama. I know that I have the biggest presidential crush on that guy, and I probably should stop. You know what I mean? I get it. I'm totally biased. And I know people that are Republicans are like, stop already, Nikki. But take politics out of it. He is the coolest president that we've ever had. I beg you to try to find a cooler president than Barack Obama. People want his playlist. Like, there is no US president that puts out a yearly Spotify playlist that people actually listen to. You know what I mean? Like books that he reads, people want to listen to or read. Like, they want to listen to his music, they want to read his books. He loves his wife. Like, he's just they just don't make him like them anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how we went from Barack freaking Obama to Donald A-hole Trump. I just
How did we go from the cool kids to the weird kids? I don't think I understand it.
Such a fall from grace. I am telling you, my friend.
I have it.
Oh, okay, you have it. Thank you. Let's see. Let's go.
So I don't usually get nervous, but I was feeling some kind of way following Eminem. Now I notice my palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, vomit on my sweater already, mom's spaghetti. I'm nervous, but on the surface I look calm and ready to drop bombs, but I keep on forgetting.
I just love him.
Dun, 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 dun. I thought Eminem was going to be performing. I was going to jump out. I gotta say, I have done a lot of rallies, so I don't usually get nervous.
Anyway, that's it. But I thought that he's so. Now compare that to Donald Trump's weird Ave Maria swaying thing.
Thank you, Cheryl, so much for the $20 super sticker. You are awesome. And Jim for the $5 super sticker as well. I know. I mean, and again, I know it's not a popularity contest. I'm not saying that. I'm just going from Obama to Donald Trump is just, I just don't understand it. And Calvin, yeah, if he would have done the whole song, that would have been hilarious. But yeah, I just don't get it. I just don't get it.
President Obama, he can do whatever he wants now.
Right. Well, exactly. And he has the whole thing with Netflix. Now, John asked, did race relations improve under Obama? Well, the reason why people didn't vote for Obama, was probably some of them, they didn't vote for Obama because they didn't like him because he was black. I would say, like, a lot of people didn't like Obama either because they didn't like democratic policies, obviously.
Right.
And they didn't like him because he was black. I mean, let's just be clear about that. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they went literally completely opposite, I think kind of proves my point. Like, there's nothing to dislike about Obama except policy-wise. I mean, he was deporter in chief, by the way, John. He deported an ton of people. There were so many Democrats that were very upset at Barack Obama. Look at the numbers. He was called the deporter in chief because of the number of people he deported. So if you want to talk about that, you can look at the facts and the history there. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, there were just a lot of things. Sam, love seeing you in the chat. So happy I made it to listen to both of you. Thank you for the $10 donation.
I've been having a conversation with Sam about who to vote, about voting, about Arab Americans. And someone else Teacher Lori just said this. Arab Americans staying home or voting third party in protest just help Trump, she writes. It's against their interest for Trump to win. I haven't heard her say this. Just keep civilian deaths unconscionable. So what's happening is, and it's interesting because Sam posted something on Facebook about people voting for the third party candidate because they don't want their tax money used by the United States to send weaponry to Israel that's then they turn around and kill people in Gaza and Lebanon and whomever else, right? You can dig into the why, but I understand what they're saying. They don't want that money, their taxpayer money, used to kill their family and relatives back in the country from which they hail. Okay. Right. And it makes perfect sense to me. But here's the problem. Jill Stein, if you're going to vote for Jill Stein, is a vote for Trump. She's not going to win. She's just sucking votes away from the Democrat.
Right.
So what you're saying by voting for Jill Stein is that you want Trump to win. And if you look at who's worse, and I hate that in Sammer's case, it has to go to a place of who's the
lesser of two
best,
evils,
best of the worst.
Yeah.
Exactly. Who's going to be worse for people in Gaza and people in the Middle East?
Absolutely.
Who?
Yeah.
Trump? Do you think Trump cares about anybody in the Middle East?
No.
Absolutely not.
Right.
He's called those places S-hole countries.
Yep. He doesn't give
Do
two
you
licks.
think Trump cares about whether people, women, children, innocent civilians are being bombed and harmed and starved and horrible things that are happening? Trump doesn't care. And so you can make the argument that the Biden-Harris administration had a chance to help fix things, but
Right.
the truth of the matter is the door is open for them. They've tried to give aid. They're trying to get a ceasefire. Trump doesn't care about any of that.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the lesser of two evils, the worst of two evils is Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I don't understand what they're doing. I understand why they think that.
Yeah.
But I think they're sorely mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. And you have to vote, obviously everybody wants their vote to matter, but again, you have to vote for your vote to matter. Right. And so you have to understand how the system works. You could write your own name in if you think that you would do a better job. I would do exactly what I want to do. Write your own name in then if you think that that's going to matter. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. So that's what we're talking about here. Vote for the candidate that you can lobby that for what you want. Right. I had posted
but he's awesome. He's just so cool. And having a conversation with him is so respectful and lovely.
Right.
Yeah.
But I had posted a video where a woman was saying, she's like, politics and voting, it's like a bus, right? A bus to get you where you want. It's not going to get you. It's not like an Uber that's going to get you exactly where you want to go. Right. If you want to go exactly where you want to go and that's your goal, run for office. Right. Then you can try to set the policy and you can try to go exactly where you want to go. But voting, you're on a bus. And you're going to try to get as close to what you want as possible. It's going to try to get you there as much as possible. And so that's what we're voting for, right? We're voting for a candidate that we can then pressure while they're in office for what we want. But they have to get in office first, right? So who do we think that once they're in office, that we can put the screws to in whatever way possible, through protests, through lobbying, through whatever means possible to get what we want? That's what we mean, right? Somebody that's going to listen to us, that's going to be empathetic to us, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I don't know, man. It's just, I want this whole election to be over. I really do. I can't wait for, 3 weeks from now. I really can't for whatever's going to happen.
Yeah.
I just need to breathe through it.
I kind of want today not to end, and here's why.
We still have a whole nother show before the next election, dude. I mean, there's a lot of time.
No, I feel like I'm getting more nervous by the day. And
don't be nervous.
The
sun will rise and set and rise and set.
I'm not a nervous or anxious person by nature. I'm optimistic by nature. Happy-go-lucky by nature, I might say. Although, with the amount of my complaints, you might not think so. But I feel like right now we're at least in a better situation than if he wins. And here's my fear. Say the unthinkable happens and we get another President Trump. All right.
Right.
The minute he either wins or I don't even want to think about taking office come down the road. The minute he wins, if he should win, I don't even want to say the words, violence. Right? Badness breaks out. Then when he takes office, all these things that we're afraid of, that happens. The Constitution gets suspended. The mass deportations. America, it's a dark days for America. So in the next 2 weeks before any of the possibilities of this happen, I feel like I'm living in the status quo. I'm still, for the next couple of weeks, I'm living in the good days. All right.
Okay. I mean, I feel like you think that. So I'm not as dark as you are.
Doomsday?
I'm not going as dark. I'm not as doomsday as you. I don't really feel like there's going to be this immediate lever if Donald Trump wins, right? I really don't. And here's why. I don't. Well, one, I don't think he's going to win. I'm still very optimistic about the number of people that are going to vote for that are going to vote for Kamala Harris, that are not going to vote for Donald Trump, but are saying they're voting for Donald Trump. Okay, so that's one thing. Number two, because it's so close, I don't think he's going to have the power to do everything that he wants to do anyway. Okay. Also, here's the thing: I don't think our emotions are the same as they were in 2016. Okay, I think that we're more aware, just like Donald Trump is more educated about Washington, we're more educated about Donald Trump. You see what I'm saying? So we know his tips and tricks, right? We know what he's going to do. The minute he starts this whole BS about everything, we know the arguments, we know even the people that he's going to be putting in his cabinet, we're well aware of. So I feel like there's a lot more. I feel like we were really surprised that he wasn't going to become presidential. We were waiting for Donald Trump to become presidential. We're not waiting for that nonsense anymore, right? So I feel like, okay, let's just go into the negative. He wins, right? I don't think that I'm going to cry like I cried in 2016.
I might.
I might, but I don't think I'm going to be as hysterical as I was, because I understand how stupid, and I'm going to say it, that so many voters. I did not think that we had these many idiots. I really didn't, that would believe the nonsense that this asshat was spewing. The veil has been lifted. Really, honestly, I did not in any way, shape, or form think that many people would vote for Donald Trump. The veil has so been lifted. I told my husband this the other day. I was like, oh, I am not as naive as I was in 2016.
Yeah.
Not as naive as I was in 2016. 2020, I was like, I'm not as naive. But in 2016, I was like, there's no way in hell. And it broke me in 2016. I am hardened. I am a hardened voter. I was like, oh no, there's morons. There are so many freaking morons out there that it will not surprise me. That's my whole thing.
Says Nikki just spoke her truth about 70 million Americans. And you know what's sad about that, Eric? Is someday the possibility, I hope, exists that those 70 million Americans will, and this only happens if Trump wins, will realize they're on the wrong side of history. When rights are stripped, when violence happens, when things are taken away from you, maybe then you'll go, oh, this is bad. He's Hitlerian in nature and we shouldn't have done this. Maybe you'll realize that, but I don't know. Someone else said that I'm saying that Democrats will be violent, and I'm not predicting that Democrats will be violent. I guess I'm looking at, regardless of who wins, or if Kamala Harris wins, the Trump people will say, because he's already laid the groundwork for it, oh, they're cheating. And then here we go with another January 6th, with people rushing the Capitol. There being violence over a political. I mean, this happens in other countries. This doesn't happen here. But because Trump and his big daddy surrogates are stirring up all this anger and all these question marks and all this distrust, I honestly have some real anxiety heading into this election about what happens the night of the election to poll workers, what happens the day after the election if you don't like the result, because Trump has laid the groundwork for us to not, when we do have free and fair elections, has laid the groundwork for us not to believe that, because of his lies, his misinformation, and his cheating. So yeah, I have some real anxiety over this, and I'm trying not to. I'm not religious, right? I'm praying to God every goddamn day.
That's not the way to do it, dude.
Okay.
I'm just letting you know.
I wasn't
don't do it like
trained.
that. I'm just saying, I'm hoping for no violence, because I think it's totally lame. I mean, come on, people. Even if Donald Trump wins, I don't want any violence, because it doesn't serve us. Okay,
True.
It doesn't serve us.
He wins, and people accept the outcome of an election, like normal Americans do.
Exactly.
Right?
And again, the whole 70 million thing. I've said this, and I'm going to say it again to you, Eric, and to everybody else. He disqualified himself by lying about the last election. Yeah. He lied. He never produced any evidence. Disqualified himself. And JD Vance has as well, by saying he didn't lose the last election. Disqualified himself. So that is the only thing I need to say to the 70 million or so Americans that are going to bubble in that bubble next to Donald Trump. That's the stupidest decision you can make. I'm sorry. It is the stupid. He lied to you.
Yeah.
And if you think a liar should be president of the United States, I think that is a stupid decision. He will lie to you about everything else.
He cheats. He cheated on all of his wives, and he tried to cheat the American people out of their voice and their vote. All I need to say to you is fake electors.
Exactly.
He cheated the American people, or tried to, out of our vote.
Yep.
He is a cheater. He is a cheater who doesn't care about your real opinion and your real vote. If he could just not have a vote and take power, he would.
Right.
He's not. He's as un-American as they get, and I stand by what I've said previously. He is the epitome of the person who needs to have their citizenship stripped and be kicked out of the country.
Just go back to Melania's country. I mean, right? I mean, you can go there, Slovenia, wherever the hell it is. I don't know. I don't know. Again, I don't think there should be violence either way. Either way, just take a deep breath, people. Vote for whoever you want to. I mean, it's just my opinion. I think it's idiotic to vote for Donald Trump, whatever. He's a liar. He's a cheat. He's a cheater, and he's a liar. I don't know why you want him as a president, but whatever. But I also want to throw in this whole Pennsylvania thing because we're voting. Did you also see in the Bay Area, people are nervous about their ballots? They don't want to put them in the mail because people think there's all these mail thefts going on. So I always turn mine in to the actual mail drop off on the day of the election because I like to get my sticker. Yeah. But in Pennsylvania, if you haven't heard, the Pennsylvania Supreme Court voted that voters in that swing state must be allowed to cast a provisional ballot at their polling place if their mail-in ballot was previously rejected. Now, before all of you people start thinking election fraud, it's because like if they forget to put it in that like secrecy ballot, they were being thrown out for something like that. Now, if you guys remember, I had a different opinion about this before. I did say earlier, this is years ago in the last election, that there's a certain bar you have to meet. If you don't sign your ballot, I was like, well, there's a bar. If you're not going to sign your friggin' ballot, what can I tell you? Right? There is a signature verification. If you don't sign your ballot and you have to sign your ballot, it's thrown out. But the secrecy ballot and you just put it in the big envelope, I don't think it should be thrown out for that. That's what I think. So they're going to still count those ballots. If you forget to put it in the other ballot, it's still going to be counted. If you don't sign your ballot and that's the verification, tough luck, dude. I mean, I think that's fair. I totally think it's fair. Vicky says, I mailed my ballot, but right at the post office. Good. But yeah, apparently people are robbing mail carriers of their mail keys. Now, they're not saying it's because they want to get the ballots, but they're just saying there's a rise in mail theft or like mail carriers being robbed.
If you, and I know that you would have to go get another ballot or vote on election day, but if you sign up for that service, it tells you exactly where your ballot is in the process.
Oh, yeah. And even if you, even if you try to turn it in, it's not going to do. Yeah. So.
And if it says your ballot has been lost or your ballot never made it, you could probably go vote on election day, right?
Right. And you can get a provisional
go to the
ballot
polling place and say, I voted this way, but they never registered or what have you. And I want to make sure my vote's counted and explain to them what happened. Yeah,
exactly. And you know, what's funny? There was this other story the other day where they caught all these people committing voter fraud. And then this guy's comment was like, I thought the Dems said this never happened. And I wanted to write, but I didn't waste my time. They caught them. Do you not understand that the system worked? Like, it's like it goes over their friggin' head. Like, because they caught them, that means the system worked. Like, it just boggles my mind that people don't get it. They just don't get it. It works. There's a system in place where they catch the people that try to cheat. Dummies. You know what I mean? It just works. It's so dumb.
Ren says in California, they allow voters to cure your ballot, fix any mistakes, or sign it incorrectly. Can you fix it? Go back and fix it. They tell you.
I thought that if you made a mistake, they give you a provisional ballot and then they put it with the provisional ballots. That's what I thought.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So you don't get to turn in so if you are mailed an this is what I believe is true. If you're mailed an absentee ballot and then you made a mistake, you can go to, where you can turn it in and say, I made a mistake. Then you get a provisional ballot and you're put it with the provisional ballots and then they'll count them later. That's what I 99%. think that I'm right.
Stu Ann gets her citizen sticker. She said, I hand carried my ballot to City Hall, put it in the drop box there, got email confirmation that it was received. Nice.
Yep, exactly. Oh, Aussie says this is the most dangerous time in my lifetime, and not because of a foreign threat, but from a threat from Trump, SCOTUS, and MAGA Congress. That's crazy. Trevor says, did Nikki and Kim talk about the ballot drop-off box that was set on fire in Arizona? I did not hear about this.
Oh, this is pretty bad. Let me see.
Are you kidding me?
I have this story, and here it is. An Arizona man is facing charges for allegedly shooting at an office belonging to Kamala Harris's campaign. Is this what you're talking about, Trevor? They say police in Tempe arrested Jeffrey Michael Kelly late Tuesday. He's accused of targeting the Democratic National Committee office in 3 different incidents. The FBI reportedly found 120 guns inside of his home, along with 250,000 rounds of ammunition.
No, that's not
body
it.
armor, a grenade launcher. He is facing several charges of unlawful discharge of a firearm, committing an act of terrorism.
No, there was another story. Authorities have made an arrest, have a number of ballots damaged when a post office collection box in Phoenix was set on fire. An individual lit a fire inside a drive-up collection mailbox at a USPS station early Thursday morning, around 1:20. The Phoenix Fire Department was able to open the mailbox and extinguish the fire. The postal inspector took possession of the damaged ballots and miscellaneous mail. About 20 electoral ballots were damaged. The Secretary of State office later said it believes the fire only destroyed 5 ballots, while warning that the final figure could still change. A suspect has been arrested. There is zero tolerance. Again, this is what we're talking about, people. This is what we're talking about. Now, I'm not saying like that this is Democrats or Republicans, but this is Arizona. Right? This is one of those states. Like, why are we doing it? Why? If we want free and fair elections, Democrats and Republicans, I'm speaking both, Democrats and Republicans, stop with this nonsense. I mean, then this is what I think. If we're going to have drop-off boxes, put them in police stations, put them actually inside post-op boxes. You know, even though it stinks because it's obviously hard to get inside those places. But give me a freaking break with this nonsense. It's stupid. It is so dumb.
What's the picture of it? Look at
that. Oh, it's an actual mailbox.
I
mean, it's just
if I have the right story. Yeah, setting ballot collection box on fire.
It was not politically motivated, they said. He just wanted
to be arrested. Yeah.
You just want to be arrested? What do you want to be arrested for?
I don't know.
I mean,
people are crazy and weird.
He committed the arson because he wanted to be arrested and that his actions were not politically motivated. So he's crazy. Voters that use that mailbox in the last 36 hours can check the status of their ballots. Yeah. I mean, again, and if you live in one of these states, I can't even imagine living in a state like Arizona or Pennsylvania or one of those states. You know what I mean?
Your brother lives there, right?
Yeah, my brother lives in Queen Creek. Yeah. It's not too far from Phoenix. My sister-in-law also lives out there. Look at Chip Franklin's in here. Hi, Chip.
Hi, Chip.
I don't know what you mean by day pearl necklace. I don't know if you're making a dirty joke over there, my friend. But yes,
we gotta get him on. He needs to come on. Chip, I'm sending it to you right now.
We're all getting hot. We're all getting hot and bothered about voting over here, my friend. But yeah, I just feel like it's just if you want free and fair elections in states like Arizona, Georgia, all of those places.
I emailed you, Chip.
Don't do crap like that.
Yeah.
Louis says, I say it was Carrie Lake with the candlestick. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Did you hear that when President Clinton, Bill Clinton,
he said she was like a
Kamala Harris?
It's gross.
Yeah, he did.
Ew,
he said
he's so gross. Bill Clinton, stop it.
He's like,
stop.
Carrie Lake is physically attractive, but she's, a puppet upon this or that. Like, why do you have to? Obviously,
why does Bill Clinton have to Bill Clinton all the time?
She was a television news journalist for a long time. We know that they're not going to throw her on TV if she's not cute. But just because she's cute on the outside doesn't mean she doesn't have a black, ugly soul on the inside.
But she puts a filter on her face all the time. Remember, wasn't that her whole thing? Like she
That's
always
true.
put a filter on everywhere. Like she always had a filter. But like, I don't
Why do you
know.
even need to comment on someone's appearance? I don't understand.
Because he's Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton always comments on women's appearances.
I guess so.
Dirty, dirty dog, Bill Clinton. I don't know. I just honestly, I feel like I'm glad that Pennsylvania is doing what they're doing, but at the same time, I just feel like Arizona fires, the whole ballot box thing is really, really scary. Okay, I want to throw in something that's not election related, but is social media related. Okay. As if Mark Zuckerberg needs the money. Facebook would not remove a hacker from a Bay Area woman's account. All right, I'm going to set up this story really quickly. Okay, so this woman's account. Now, I don't know. Do you use Facebook? How many pictures do you put on? Of course, it's my dog. Do you
mess with your microphone for a second?
Okay. Oh, did I mess with the microphone?
I can hear you now.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. I think my kids are home, of course. Anyways, so Facebook is used as kind of, the pictures of your kids and your memories and everything like that, right? Okay. So this woman used it like that. But all of a sudden a hacker got a hold of all of her entire account, and they wouldn't let her get back in until that she paid for verification. Now, verification, the check mark that Twitter gets you, $15 a month, $15 a month to be verified. Now, I want to show you something. Now, this is what so this is what she paid. This is what it looked like. Hold on.
So the hackers wanted her to pay $15 a month to them?
To Meta. Okay. To Meta. Okay. So I'm going to share this. This is the news report from ABC 7. Now I'm going to share with you.
Meta wouldn't help her with this until she paid to be verified.
Until she paid. Okay. Now look at this news report. Here we go.
Access to a live agent. You shouldn't have to pay money to get your page back. But in desperation, she did. Tova paid $14.99 for a month of Meta Verified. And it got me right in. Instead of a machine spitting this automated reply, a live agent came on chat. She wrote, "Hi, Tova. This is Leandra from the Meta support team. How can I help you today?" Tova typed, "My Facebook got hacked." The agent replied, "That sounds really frustrating. Please be assured that I will be doing my best to help you." Finally, a sympathetic voice. Oh my gosh, I was relieved. The agent gave her updates on her case. Then hours later, great news. The account was back. I was relieved. I was able to get all my memories back. Yet the couple says Meta shouldn't be charging money to fix problems, and some critics agree.
Individual users should not have to pay for security. That should be baked into the experience.
Eva Velasquez is the CEO of the Identity Theft Resource Center.
Anytime an industry creates a problem and then monetizes the solution, we are going to take umbrage.
Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg responded to such criticism in a blog post saying, "We already provide protections and some support for everyone, but verifying government IDs and providing direct access to customer support for millions or billions of people costs a significant amount of money. For the Ridgeways, it was an expedient $15 resolution." It's well worth it.
No. Okay. So,
Tova, so
now Harry is thinking exactly what I'm thinking. I think that was a bot anyway.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Right? So I think that Mark Zuckerberg and Meta are totally full of crap. I think that it was a bot anyway. There's no live person that they're paying. If Facebook can run and handle millions and billions of accounts and pictures and all of these status updates, they can handle people wanting their accounts not hacked. I think that anyways, it's a scam. So I just think it's BS.
I have one of two ways of thinking about it, and I'm not sure which is the right way. The first is Facebook, make your site better and people won't get hacked so that you don't have to go through this. The second is Facebook is a free service and no one pays for it. We all get to use, like Google, like all the other, sites that we're on, YouTube, what have you, unless you're paying for no commercials,
Right.
it's all free. And so when you expect extra services from them, what's wrong with them charging for those extra services? I don't know. I mean, we live in Techville, right? We're here in the tech-heavy Bay Area, and we know that these companies have to pay their workers, which in most cases, are the people around us. And so I don't have a problem necessarily with Facebook or Meta or whatever charging for providing extra services, but I do wish, and maybe it was this lady who gave the hackers her information, right? Who fell for some type of hacking
Well,
scheme.
she fell for it. Yeah. She thought she was talking to her aunt,
Yeah.
and they were like selling stuff and like sending notifications to all of her friends and all that kind of stuff.
Smarter than the average bear. You can't be doing stuff
Yeah.
like that. So in this case, maybe she had a little fault, but also maybe Meta could do better at security and helping people not get hacked.
Obviously. I mean, I know that we pay for all of it and it's free and blah, 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 blah. But anyways, I thought that the Mark Zuckerberg doesn't need the money. Obviously, he can afford it, but Facebook kind of sucks for that. Anyways, okay, we have one more. Oh, is Chip here?
He's here.
I was like, is he gonna go
sideways? But he's here.
No, he's here. Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
There he is.
Hey.
Oh, look at you just lounging on your couch, all goateed and everything.
That's what I do best. I lounge.
Look at you. Look at you. We're both glasses. You have glasses. My birthday's on Saturday.
Glasses.
Look, these are my readers. I told you I was going blind.
Those are her sexy librarian glasses.
These are my blue ones that I got off Amazon. I have my real eye appointment. Don't call me old. My birthday's on Saturday, so you have to be nice to me.
No kidding. And you're 52, 53?
Shut up. Okay. Look, everyone's happy to see you, Chip. How are you, my friend? So let me ask you, over or under? Are you as scared as Kim is that old Don Old is going to win or not?
No, we're going to win. I think what's happened is a couple things. I think there was back in 2016 and maybe even 2020, we undersampled Trump's people. Plus, a lot of people that follow Trump weren't experienced in taking polls. They didn't like doing it. I think that they oversampled them and they got higher numbers from that aren't. I mean, this is not just me saying this. There's other people saying this, Carville and other people that have read. And I think Trump's internals are bad for him. And I think that's why he went crazy. He gave up on independence and tried to just like solidify his base. So to answer your question, if we win Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania, it's over, right?
Well, obviously.
But if we lose Pennsylvania, I don't think we will, then I still think we're going to pick up. If we pick up Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, or North Carolina, then we win. So, and that's a thin margin. I want to win Georgia, North Carolina, and those three states, and Texas and Florida. So call me.
Yeah, I want to win it all.
You think Texas is a possibility?
No. Well, I think Cruz will lose, and I also think that Robinson's going to lose so bad down there that puts North Carolina in play.
Well, maybe.
What do you think about the Arab Americans, mostly in Dearborn, very large population there, that are going with this third-party candidate because they're upset about their tax money being spent to on the war in Gaza, given to Israel to then kill their family members in these other countries? Do you think that this is going to hurt Kamala Harris in Michigan badly?
This is one of those moments where you have to say, you put the politics aside and you say, what Hamas is doing to not just Israelis, but to Palestinians is unconscionable and they have to be stopped. And the first place that has to stop them is the Palestinian leadership. They have to do it. And if they won't, then they're going to continue to put themselves in harm's way. That said, I'm all for a ceasefire and trying to figure a way around it. But it's a 5,000-year-old war. You know what I mean? So if somebody that lives here in the United States safely ensconced in, everything we offer, and they don't see the dangers in not supporting Harris, again, how long have we been dealing with these one issue voters, right? And that stumble all over themselves to try to, I get it. I mean, they believe that they have a real responsibility to whatever that cause is, whether it was abortion or down the line, but there are no more third rails. When I was a kid, it was Social Security, and then it was abortion. And then, you heard the story recently about this, something that Trump had done, that an October surprise. And I thought, what could he possibly do? There's nothing.
Right?
People don't care what he does. He gets away with the craziness. Yeah.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, Chip. I mean, I don't know if he could do anything. And there is no October surprise. He's a complete S show. So, I don't understand people that vote for him. But apparently, according to the polls, it's close. So
we all know people that have voted for him, and some people that again, I do these videos. I write like, I don't know, 2,000 words a day on this crap, and the more I look at it and the more I understand the metrics of the economy and immigration and all that, the more upset I get that Americans haven't taken the time to really learn, I mean, I guarantee you, if you went and asked people what GDP stand for, 1 out of 10 would know in this country. And then we all talk about the economy and unemployment. And then we talk about immigration. How many people know that Obama deported more people than Trump and Biden together?
We were just talking about it. Yep, exactly. So it's crazy. They don't understand it, and yet they think that the Democratic Party just ruined this country.
But it's not calculus. They can understand it. You know what I mean? It's they're lazy. They're intellectually lazy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's so frustrating. Yeah, Kevin says I get frustrated too, Chip. And we just got to tell people to vote. And that's what I keep saying is. We were talking about 2016 versus now, where I think in 2016, people were like, yeah, I'm just going to, throw a joke vote towards Donald Trump. Now is not the time for that. You know what I mean? Now is not the time to not vote. And now is not the time to, throw away a vote. It is, we have things on the line, and it's time to kind of do what we need to do to make sure this guy is nowhere near the White House ever again. He just needs to go away.
I really do believe, though, that Vance and the rest of MAGA are they want him to win, but I really believe that if he goes off and he's incapable, they're ready to step in with the 25th Amendment. Oh, yeah. I mean, all this stuff that we used to talk about is kind of like some sort of slug line for a bad movie we saw on Netflix is actually in play.
Mm-hmm. Well, they want Vance in. I mean, because he's young and he's going to advance their extreme agenda.
He's even more out of touch than Trump. The thing about Vance that bothers me the most is that you can really see right through. He has absolutely no connection, no scruples, no real dedication to principle that you expect in anybody in that position. So, and the fact that when that guy Fuentes attacked his wife, he didn't do anything. It reminded me of Ted Cruz, who, by the way, is going to lose.
You think so?
I hope so.
Yeah, Ted Cruz.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Yes.
Nobody saw that coming. Here's my prediction. Harris wins. We get the House, and it's a maybe a 1 for the Republicans or a 50-50 in the Senate, which means that we're going to have to deal with the same crap we did before. Yeah. But we won't have Manchin or Sonoma to deal with in that particular scenario.
Don't diss my county.
We love your county. We love your county.
I'm in Sonoma. You mean cinema, but I thought you were making
cinema.
A play on her name.
Yeah, cinema. Yeah. Hey, there's my wife. Say hi to Wendy.
Wendy.
She goes.
I love her. I love her. Well, good. Well, how is it over there in your red area of California?
Here, hang on a second. This is a shirt I wear everywhere here.
Hang on. Okay. Oh, he's gonna go topless for us today.
No, he loves to get everybody mad where he lives because he's very red area.
It say?
Oh, it says the Harris Walls 2024. Yeah, I'm sure you get a lot of people flipping you off where you live.
Are you kidding? Come on, I'm a big guy. Nobody fucks with me. Pardon my friend.
We're on YouTube now. It doesn't matter anymore.
I know.
I have a sign across the street from my house. Somebody put it on a corner, and it says, "I didn't do it, but I love the sign every time I see it." It's got this like blonde Trump hair, and where his face would be, it simply says, "Nope."
Exactly. Exactly.
So look at this. So this is I'm going to show you my front yard here real quick. And you'll see out here as I get closer. Tell me when you can see the sign.
Let's see.
Can you see it yet?
It looks fancy out there. Nice lighting.
Dark. We need more light. Oh, let's see.
Now can you see it? Hang on. I'll get right up on it. No, there's not enough light.
We have a series of signs. I can kind of see the sign.
I can see your face.
Never mind.
I can just see your face. That's all I can see.
I have a front. My sign has been stolen in my front yard a couple times.
Oh, really? What did it say?
It's a Harris 2024.
Oh, it's a Harris. Yeah.
But,
that stinks.
My area that I live in San Diego used to be pretty red. I think it's pretty purple now. And it depends on where. I went to the doctor's office today, which is in my neighborhood, and everybody was cool. They were like, "Hey, I love your shirt," kind of stuff. So I take full credit for Harris's success,
There you go.
But I also, when people have said stuff to me before, and of course, I say, being me, of course, I say, you want to sit down and have a cup of coffee? We can talk about it.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Exactly.
I don't do that. But I am.
You give them the finger.
You should.
I feel I could, and I really could succeed in talking to them. If they want to say it's the economy, I'll talk to them and say, well, no, it's really not the economy, because the economy this is one of the best economies in 50 years that we're living under right now. And of course, inflation is still around the globe, double what we have, because of the supply side, being shut down for so long. And, it was only 4 years. It was 4 years ago. Yeah, 4 years ago. And you look at that and you say to yourself, well, that just gives you an idea of what the economy is like an aircraft carrier. You can't stop it on a dime. And once it gets momentum, and which we did, we threw trillions of dollars at people. We couldn't stop the spending. We couldn't stop inflation. We did the best we could with the Fed, and I thought we did a great job. But, it was legitimately a worldwide pandemic and a worldwide economic issue. But when you explain that to people, people have a hard time, understanding how many continents there are. If you ask people how many continents there are to name all 7 continents, they can't do it. They can't. People can't. It's unbelievable to me, the stuff that we learned as kids that I thought was totally useless, but now I can use to troll Trumpers today. It's really it's a great concept. Did I mention I'm not wearing any pants?
You always do.
No,
Thank you very much.
We missed that. I was watching one of the late night shows, and they did one of these things where they go and ask people questions, and it was like simple questions about how American political questions, and so easy, these questions, that I thought this must have been a joke, like maybe it was a skit, because no one could answer these easy questions. And it wasn't, I don't think they were fake viewers or fake people on the street. I think they were real people on the street that didn't know the most basic of information. And I'll have these are voters.
Yes, exactly.
Well, exactly. Marjorie Taylor Greene's district has a 16% high school graduation rate.
Oh,
geez. And again, and people speak with such authority. You know what I mean? And they speak as if they know what direction the country should go, and how
Fox, Nikki. It must be true.
Well, I don't even think they watch Fox, though. I think that they get their sound bites from social media or Donald Trump, or they're like that woman I was mentioning earlier, where they're like, just listen to him. He's got it. Like, they just want to abdicate decision making to a political party.
Somebody told me. Yeah, I hear people talking, that kind of stuff, right? And that's the new research valve. It's like somebody told me something, so it has to be true,
Right.
And both sides are prone to that. We have to be careful. And because we've seen stories on both sides. I don't really know, and I can't even begin to understand what the future is going to look like. Sorry about that. Coming up, because I don't, newspapers and investigative journalism, it's gone for the most part.
Exactly.
And so the future will be whoever manufactures the best lie and sells it.
It's scary, actually. It's really actually very, very scary. And also, God forbid Donald Trump wins, and he wants to get rid of the Department of Education. And I don't know if you heard the soundbite of him. He's like, there's going to be some states that don't do very well, and that's okay. The Department of Education was only around, started in the late 70s or whatever. And there, if you look at the map, John's like, thanks, Chip, to our great Democratic teachers unions and the federal school system. John, look at the states that do well in education. They're red states. And I'm not trying to like do a gotcha there, but look at it. Look at the states that do well in education. Now our country can do better in education compared to other states or other countries, but I'm just saying, like, where red states versus blue states do in education should show you something, and where they prioritize it is just what I'm saying.
It's about tradition, that parents that understand the importance of reading to their children, parents that understand the importance of working with their kids to help them through, whether it's, what's the new math called? I can never remember that.
Common Core.
Common Core.
But whatever it is, I mean, parents have to make sure their kids, because, come on, man, we're all 13. We don't do anything if our parents don't force us to do it,
Right.
And that's part of the experience. And I think that's why some red states, despite disadvantages in curriculum and size of classes and books, they do all right. But then you have, Florida that's spending half their time editing textbooks to take out, the Native American and the great passage of African Americans over the, during slavery, and also, LGBT and just everything. You wonder if, in fact, the educational system itself is under a certain sort of weird scrutiny by the right, where it's almost like Orwellian,
Yeah.
The scariest thing about, I don't know how many people have read 1984, but the protagonist in that, whose name I want to say Kilgore Trout, but I'm not sure that's it. But the protagonist fights the whole book against Big Brother, and spoiler alert, at the very end, the last sentence of the book is, "I love Big Brother." He gave up and just adopted, the same thing everybody else did.
Winston Smith.
What's that?
Winston Smith.
Sorry. Kilgore Trout is a Kurt Vonnegut character. I get them mixed up. But it's that's frightening. The frightening that so many people just get so emotionally and physically drained. They just say, okay, I'm just going to vote for.
They just give in. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of like the Matrix, you know what I mean? It's just all sort of the whole entire thing. I don't know. I don't want to be so down on the whole entire thing, but
Harris is going to win.
I fully believe that. I really do.
I
we were talking about it earlier. I mean, but the reason why I want to talk about Trump winning is because it is a possibility. And I think that we really need to understand that there is a reality in which people are that stupid. And people get all mad when I say it, but it is idiotic that people would actually fill in a bubble next to Donald Trump's name, but people are going to do it. And I don't understand it, but it is going to happen in some homes on some ballots. So to say that it's not going to happen is being naive. But I do believe that Kamala Harris is.
Well, I mean, and I get like to the point, like, under what Waffle House in Arkansas did they crawl out from under, and how do they, well, I mean, the truth is a lot of the people that support him, let's be honest, are hardcore racists and xenophobes, misogynistic creeps.
I wouldn't say all of them. I wouldn't, because I don't.
And how many are people that that just assume that he's a Republican and that he's going to be better for them because they've always voted Republican.
Exactly. Right.
And that's a big part of it too. I mean, the older I get, and amazingly, I'm getting better looking as I get older, but that's another story. The older I get, the more tolerant I am of the people that I used to loathe, because there's something about, you get to a certain age and you start saying to yourself, I'm tired of this fight. This fight goes nowhere. I mean, it's like the whole Middle East thing for me. It's just like, I love when people talk about the promised land. I go, it's a big sandbox, dude. I mean, you can say that, you can talk about the gods that have, all that crap. They're killing each other in the name of, Yahweh, Allah, and Jesus, right? It's insane.
Well, everyone has their own beliefs with that.
Well, but I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I haven't read that much of the Quran or any of those books really, but I do know enough to know that, they're experiencing some of the same issues there that we do over here. It's it's kind of a wall of an ideological wall that people won't go over or won't, approach. And how, I mean, what is the biggest, when somebody says abortion is murder to me, I say, well, good, let's go hand out condoms, right? Let's stop unnecessary childbirth.
Yeah.
And then we stop abortion. But then, then you get Alito and Thomas saying that contraception is a form of abortion. And then you start going down that rabbit hole. And then I mean,
then it gets crazy.
So then pregnancy is men's fault. Don't put your sperm somewhere you don't want it to be.
Exactly.
Well, they don't care.
But then they want to spread their seed everywhere because that's what God said that they should be doing. You know what I mean? Spread your seed everywhere.
That's not very sexy. Spread your seed. It sounds like a Roundup commercial,
No. What do you think, regardless of the winner, and maybe you have two scenarios, I don't know. What do you see happening the night of or the day after the election? Are we in trouble?
No, because Trump's not president. Biden will be able to handle the National Guard and law enforcement and worst case scenarios. It's not going to be like 2020, but it will be. They will lie and say that things were stolen. You know that, right? They're already doing it.
Yeah.
But it won't be the kind of violence we saw on January the 6th.
We've seen all that stuff already. I think we're smart to Donald Trump's stuff. If he starts saying the same nonsense again, we're like, yeah, nah, we're done.
I saw that Bartiromo was saying that, what if Harris doesn't, certify the election on the, and I go, we're not, you're crazy like you.
Exactly.
The craziest part about January 6th that I always forget about is the one thing that stopped Pence from acquiescing to Trump's crazy demands. Do you know who he called and got advice from? Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was Dan Quayle.
Dan Quayle, the guy that couldn't spell potato.
That couldn't spell potato.
But they both believe in the U.S. Constitution.
Look at that. You know what I mean? Like, look at that.
Good Republicans who stood up for what's right, and they were everywhere. But if Trump gets into office, he'll weed those folks out.
Exactly. He won't have any of those people next to him.
I actually know Quayle's personal attorney. I went to college with his brother, and so I know him pretty well. Although we haven't had long conversations about it, he told me, he goes, Chip, you would like the guy. He's not a crazy ideologue. You would like him. And he said I went back from my high school reunion.
Who would we like? Who are you talking about?
He said,
lawyer for Dan Quayle's attorney.
Yeah.
Oh, Dan Quayle. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like a lot of people. I barely like you guys, so I'm not sure.
Love us. You absolutely love us. Well, I mean, I just feel like the election's less than 2 weeks away. I'm excited. Kim likes to bask in this kind of sweet spot of we don't know. So this is the peace before the election. So she's kind of marinating here. So,
well, I mean, Wendy, a lot of people have anxiety. Watch Nicole Wallace. She can barely get through shows these days.
I'm fine. I'm cool as a cucumber over here. I'm like, you know what?
But I think a lot of people worry, to what extent is Trump just bullshitting, and how far will he go with attacking his enemies?
That's
right.
Right.
But I mean, there's only so far he can go. I feel like Kim, it kind of feels like there's going to be this lever pulled. Like if he wins, it's going to be this lever of destruction. And I'm like, we're still Americans. Like we're not just going to automatically given. We still have politicians.
My beautiful friend, the Supreme Court gave him immunity for whatever he does while he's in office. Doesn't matter. Now he can go in and do whatever he wants.
Full immunity. It's not full immunity, and it's
I want to think that he's full of hot air and he's a BSer. I want to think that. But then again, if someone tells you what they're going to do, if someone's sitting there telling you they're going to be a dictator on day one, they want to suspend the Constitution, they want to seek retribution on all the people that they feel have wronged them, if they tell you that they're coming after Americans with the military because we are the enemy from within, if they're saying all of these things, I'm going to believe them. I'm going to say,
I would say bring it then, mofo. You know what I mean? Like, okay, but we're still America.
Yeah. This is a guy that takes an hour on his hair, spray tans his body, and his man titties fall to the ground when he takes his girdle off.
There you go. Exactly.
It's not somebody that I'm afraid of. Nor am I afraid of, Vance or the Proud Boys or any of those guys. I think that, that like people like Milley and Mattis and, and even McMaster, who's been kind of a wishy-washy on this whole thing. But I think that there's a lot of people that would not allow that to happen. There's a lot of people that Milley would tell, that really respected him if it got to that point, if he tried to use the military against, citizens. I think there's a lot of people, I mean, this is a crazy scenario, right? They're even discussing this, but I think there's people that would say, no, we're not going to do that.
And I think that we're underestimating. I think there's a lot of people nodding and being like, yeah. I just think that, and Kim, I want this to comfort you. I think you're underestimating the sanity of other people and you know what I mean? Like Trump's crazy. You're underestimating the sanity of other people. And
we got through this last time with the whole fake elector scheme and the not certifying of elections and the violence at the Capitol and the ugliness and the chaos that was caused.
But Trump was president.
Just a couple of people standing up for what's right.
But again,
you're right.
Remember, the Biden will be president, and we'll have the Democrats in charge. So that's a huge difference.
January. You know what I mean? It's not like Biden's going away. He still has time. He's not, he's not immediately president. He could still do things. And again, Kamala's going to win. So don't worry. Don't worry.
From your mouth to whoever's
God's ears. There we go.
Exactly.
Right, there we go. All right, Chip Franklin. I love you. I love seeing your face.
Thank you for
so
being
much,
here.
old man, for being here. Give your wife a big smooch from me, and come on anytime, my friend.
You want to hear me make a fart sound under my armpit?
No, thank you. No, thank you. Okay. All right. Bye. That's Chip Franklin. You can also find him Really American. He's always on there. He does these great videos. So right here on YouTube, Really American, you can find Chip Franklin. All right, that's our show. I love him. I know. I love him to death. All right, you guys, we had to do a lot of thank yous, Kim McAllister, because my birthday is this weekend. And even though a lot of you think that I look like I'm in my 20s, I'm going to say that I'm in my 20s. I'm turning 46. You know what? I never say my fake age. I am turning 46. 46. So let's say some thank yous. Rev P with a $5 donation. Thank you. Harry, 29 for a buck for every year. I'll say that I look 29. I'll take that. Right. I'll take that. Thank you. Luis, thank you for the $5 donation. Thank you so very much. Cheryl, coming in with a $20 super sticker. I love you so much. Jim with the $5 donation. Thank you very much. And Debbie with the, I believe Kamala is referring to herself by name. She makes herself more approachable and like everyone else. I like that. Because we were talking about Kamala by the first name, and thank you for the donation and the comment as well. Sam with a $10 donation. Thank you. So happy. Made it to listen to you both. Sam, I love when you are able to make it to the show. Luis, $5 donation. And the suggestion for election night. We have not made a decision about election night because it is on a Tuesday. So that might be a little logistically, but we'll see and we'll let you know what we're going to plan. Luis, another $10 donation. Happy birthday, Nikki. Have a great one. Thank you. And Trevor Starr in Hollywood with a $10.10 donation. Happy birthday, Nikki. Congratulations on turning 25. I enjoy turning 25 so much. I've done it every year for decades. Nice. Love you. All right, we will be back next week at this time with we have to also thank our sponsors. Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors. Please donate to the show and support our sponsor, Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors. She makes delicious barbecue sauce. You see it right there on your screen. It's guava barbecue sauce. I actually just had some delicious chicken wings and I doused it all over. All right. But go to auntietabbys.com. Use the coupon code NIKKIM, NIKKIM, and you get 10% off every single time you order. And not only do you support this show, you also support kids in Jamaica. So this is authentic Jamaican barbecue sauce. So please support the show and support Auntie Tabby's. I will tell you all about my birthday this weekend next time on the show. Thank you guys so much for the support. If you can support our Patreon by going to thenikkimedoroshow.com, thenikkimedoroshow.com. We can only do this show with your support. All right. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. You sprout like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.